Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. This is Saturday, December the 10th, 2022. And this is Flosstube number 27. And this is like take number 5. It's been a day. I had this thing almost completely done and I kept getting interrupted because I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. So I kept getting interrupted and I was trying to clip all the different clips together. And since I was doing that, I figured, hey, why don't I go ahead and add in like the pictures from the whips that I was working on, right? So I did all that. I went to go save the video back onto my phone so I could upload it because I was using iMovie. And it kept telling me I don't have enough storage to save the movie. I was deleting crap all over the place. So I said, you know what? I got pissed off and I just deleted the whole thing. And then I was like, well, that wasn't smart. Now I gotta start over. Because I deleted everything. I deleted the edited movie and I went ahead and I gave my phone the big middle finger and I deleted the original videos that I filmed. Which I wouldn't have been able to really upload the first one, the unedited version anyway, because I got interrupted partway through. So I'm just gonna do it again. But yeah, I would like get partway through it and I'm like, I don't like that. And I would just stop and start over. Because that's what I do. Like I do this repeatedly, but I do it from start to finish. Boom, that's it. I don't cut stuff out or nothing. So, anywho, if you're new to my channel, I would like to welcome you. This is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch. I do all the different sizes, and I usually change whips just about every day. You can see a pile of crap behind me over here. And I have two piles in front of me, more over here. I got a lot to show today. Excuse me. I hope it'll be a long video because I like the long videos, but I don't know if it's going to be a long video because I don't know. We'll see. Let me move this over here. So the first thing, oh yes, yeah, okay. So if you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. Trying to put my cross stitch. If you like what you have to see, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. I typically will post about every 2 weeks. I'd like to say that it's not always this like rambly and disorganized, but it usually is. But that's okay. That's okay. If you're returning to my channel, I would like to welcome you back. Thank you so much for returning and sharing a bit of your day with me while I talk and talk and talk. And that, you know, it's really cool that you guys like want to see the things that I do. I think that's really cool. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So before I start showing my stuff, I wanted to talk about how I do my stitching because I had a few questions on it in a few other videos. Somebody had asked me what I use, like if I use a scroll frame or something, and I use a Q-snap. Because I switch projects so many times, I switch projects at about every day, and so I don't think that a scroll frame is the most appropriate thing for me. So I use a Q-snap. It's a lot easier to switch things out. I purchased 8x8s and 11x, and I don't get the expensive ones. I get the store brand, the Michaels brand. That's what I have, and they work just fine. But I have 8x8s and 11x11s, and I pulled them all apart and I put them back together to make 8x11s. Sorry, my shoulders are sore. To make 8x11 frames for myself. That's what I use for that. And then Elise was asking me how I do my floss, like if I kit up each project and if I, like how I go about doing that. because I start so many projects. She was like, do you buy floss for every single project? No, I don't. I use bobbins, and I have a master set that I work out of. This is a full set of DMC. I do have some spaces in here, like right here, where I have, I think a few of the 1 through 35s that I need to bobbinate and put in here. I have them, I just haven't bobbinated them, but I have them. But this is a full set, and I was trying to kit up each project before, so I have a lot of other floss. So I had bobbin boxes for all these big projects, and I was buying floss for each and every project. And then I realized that that wasn't necessarily something that I needed to do. So what I did was I found the list of the full range of DMC, and I went through and I made a master set out of all the different flosses that I had. And then I put the rest of my floss in numerical order in my leftover bobbin boxes. I think I have like 6 boxes of floss over there that are extra. So when I start running low on a bobbin, I go over there and I pull one out of there. And then I have a bag sitting over there. I keep looking over there. It's like the corner of my living room over there. I have a bag over there that has a bunch of floss in it. And then I have this container that I can't even close properly that's full of floss. And this is all DMC floss. No, I am not rich by any means to be buying all this floss like this. I wait until it goes on sale at Joann's, where it's like too low to show. And that's when I buy it. I try to not buy floss any other time. I'm getting close to the point where I might go ahead and start looking into ordering some CXC, because I've been hearing really good things about it. So I might go about that. I might start getting CXC floss. And then I got some of these on Amazon. Some more of these. I just whacked myself in the eye. But I got some of these, some more on Amazon. I had some already, but just these plastic bags here that I can put my projects in. And so my goal next year is to get my cross stitching life right. Get my crap organized, get my projects bagged up, because I've got multiple projects shoved into multiple bags right now. And so I want to try to get them all bagged up, get my floss organized a little bit better so I know exactly what I have, and get my patterns straightened out to see if I have, like, what I have that I can start when I'm ready to do a new start next year. And then bit by bit order fabric for patterns that I don't have stuff for, but just slowly, because there's some that I do need to kit up because I need special flosses, or I need beads, or I need like buttons or something like that. And so for things like that, then yeah, I'll go ahead and get flosses specifically for that. But yeah, I want to get a bit more organized in my stitchy world in 2023. So, where am I going to start? I'm ready to show you some stuff. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my whips first, because I have this like all out of order. So I'll show you oh no, I don't. Duh, it's over here. Okay. There we go. So let me go ahead and show you my my projects that I started in New Start November. So for those of you who don't know, New Start November was an event I did on one of my games where I started a new project every day in the month of November. So this is the end of that. So the first thing I'm going to show is, well, the first two things I'm going to show is a couple patterns from Stitchrovia. I bought these off her Etsy shop. I already started that one. These two are the ones I started this past week, whatever, past 2 weeks, whatever. Hope and Love. So the Love I am doing on an 18 count Ada in the color Baby Pink. I don't think the pink is going to show up for you very well, but it is pink, I promise you. It's very, very tiny. It's only 49 by 49. I'm like almost halfway done with it. I think if I sit down, I could get if I get a few really good stitching sessions in, I think I could get this done in like a day or two. Because I got that far with one night of stitching. Yeah, so I think that's going to be a quick finish for me. And then the other one is Hope. I'm doing this on 28 count Monaco 2/2. The color is white. And that's where I'm at on that one. So I still have a lot of flowers to do on that one, but stitches up pretty quick, I think. Yeah, I like it. It's really cute. So that was those two patterns. And then the next thing I want to show you is, this is my third Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure. The first two that I started, one was for me, and then I started one for my 12-year-old, and this one is going to be for my 9-year-old, who turns 10 on Monday. So I guess I could say this is for my 10-year-old. My baby's turning 10 on Monday. Can you believe it? So this is the introduction, and this is how far I've gotten on the introduction. That's the first parchment, part of the first parchment. I don't have a finished product to show you, like a mock-up, because every pattern's going to be different, because basically you are a student at Hogwarts and you're writing home to mom and dad, and when you have the letter pulled up as a PDF on your computer or phone or whatever, you start reading the letter, and then you get down to a certain point of the letter, and it's like gives you options to pick from. Like this is your house flag. Down here is the Quidditch game, which is what position you're going to play. So like for that one, for example, you're telling your parents about the Quidditch positions and how your friend thinks that all the positions are related to like some element, like earth, air, water, or fire, right? So you get through this letter, and then it tells you to pick an element. And so you, from your heart, you pick earth, air, water, or fire. Whichever one you pick, and you click on that hyperlink, it jumps down to that element's portion, like of the finished letter. And then it tells you what position you're going to play in Quidditch based on that. And then it gives you the pattern for that. So everybody's is different. Like even me and my boys, ours are all going to be different. It's going to be fun. I'm going to like it. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at on that. I'm doing this on a 16 count Ada, Ivory Ada. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. This next one, I'm not very happy with. I'm mad at it. And I'm also mad at myself. All Hallows Eve by Erica Michaels. Dude, I'm not mad at it. What am I mad at? I'm mad at the way the pattern was put together. That's what I'm mad at. Look at the couple. Focus. Okay? You see? You see all that right there? I'm doing this on 32 count vintage Stormy Night. 2/2. Why does that look so different, you ask? Ha ha ha! Well. Look what I did by accident. I started doing the drum. Pages aren't numbered. They're not labeled very well. So when you're sitting here trying to find the page, which this was not right in the middle, it was more like, the pages were in a weird order. I was trying to find the colors and I was trying to find the middle of the pattern, and yeah. And I discovered that today when I pulled this out to show you, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? That doesn't look right. So I don't know if I'm going to pick all this out. I would have to pick out all this right here and this tombstone and this little owl thing. Or maybe I could order another piece of fabric, save it to be like another new start. I can see how wide the drum pattern is. Maybe I could go ahead and fit the drum pattern on here and trim it. And then that would give me like that right there. And that up there to do other things. And I could actually finish it as a drum. I've never done that before, so it would be something new. But I'm still not happy about it at all. So it's in timeout right now while I figure that out. Yeah. So, don't be sad and disappointed. I'm just irritated right now. I'll figure it out. It's no big deal. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It is a big deal because I was really looking forward to that, but now I got to buy a new phone. So now I'm like, you know what, whatever. It's not like I don't have other things I can work on while I figure this out, right? And I think the drum pattern may fit on there. Let me see. The game board design is 120 wide by 154. The drum is 190. I don't know if it'll fit. I'll have to count it out and see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is Poltergeist Pirates by Glennon Place. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. There is this fabric that it's stitched on has been dyed specifically for this pattern, and it is a 28 count bang casual linen by Crosswing Collection. It says bang in capital letters with an exclamation point. So this is being stitched 2/2 on 28 count bang casual linen. And this is where I'm at so far. I got 1,600 stitches on it. And look at that. I have been back stitching on it. Aren't you proud? I'm so proud. I'm proud. Been back stitching on it. The designer did suggest that you go ahead and do the back stitching as you go because it's such a big piece. So that's what I started doing. So there's that. I like how it's turning out so far. And I have the bead pack. There are some silks that are supposed to be done with this. I did not buy the silks. I do not think I'm going to buy the silks. I think I'm going to switch them out for DMCs. Because Jean over at the LNS that I bought this at, Brick City Cross Stitch, she said that the silk pack was like $50. I ain't about that life. And I think the silks like go down here, I believe is what she was saying. So I'll just find a DMC equivalent and do that. Yeah. All right, those were all my new starts for New Start November. Now I gotta show you my whips. I was going to try and do photos of what it looked like before I started stitching it, Alara, because somebody, Alara, wanted the pre-progress photos. However, like I said, I don't have the space on my phone, so until I figure out an alternate way of filming, you're just gonna have to deal with it, Alara, okay? Just deal with it. So the first thing I'm gonna show you, I'm trying to find it on Pattern Keeper. First thing I'm going to show you is Birdhouse Gardens. And it is not popping up on Pattern Keeper. Hang on a second. Where is it? Here it is. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by SYOA Marchetti. This is 600 by 420 and it has 90 colors in it. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I am doing this with 2 threads full cross on a 20 count Aida. And that's where I'm at with it so far. I got about 500 stitches in on this. And for all of you who like the numbers, let me hold this up like that. For all of you who like the numbers, I've done a total of 1,700 stitches out of 252,000 stitches for a total of 0.67% complete. So yeah, I'm digging that so far. I like it. I like the colors. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get page finishes on them. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of Stitching Mommy's style in a way, the typewriter, but I'm doing like, I'm picking like a block over here, like what a symbol, and I'm working it across, but also down. So I am going into the next page if I need to, which will help with like page lines. But I'm getting this whole thing filled up, and then, you know, and then I'll move down to row 2 and get that one filled up, and so on until I get a page finish. And then at that point, I don't know if I'm going to go across or if I'm going to go down. I don't know yet. Yeah. So there's that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is my project bag. That's empty right now because I pulled the project out. I did the stitching. This is a Stitch Robia pattern called PhD, and it says I'm working on my PhD in cross stitch. Project's half done. And then my mom made the bag for me. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. Yeah, I had pulled all the projects out of my bags. So anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is, this one is Patchwork Quilt Room by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by SYOA Marchetti. This one is 700 by 490 and it contains 238 colors that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm stitching this with 2 threads, full cross on a 20 count, easy count Aida. And that's where I'm at with it so far. So since you last saw this, I've put in 800 stitches on it, and I've done a total of 2,106 stitches out of 343,000 stitches, and I'm 0.61% complete on that. So yeah, I like it. It's a lot of green that I've been stitching though. I'm getting tired of the green. So there's that. Oopsies. Oh, here's another one of my project bags that my mom made me. Look at that. And she did the cross stitching on this. And it says, I cannot count my day complete until needle, thread, and fabric meet. Isn't that cute? Okay. The next piece I'm going to show you is called Checking the List. This is from Charting Creations, and artwork is by Marcelo Corti. This is 280 by 419, and it has 80 colors in it. This is what, psych. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I really like the grayscale, and then like Santa just like boom in your face with his suit. Really like that. I started this in the upper left hand corner like I usually do with my big full coverages. I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on, I think this might be a 28 count. I don't know if this is 28 or 25. One of those two. Easy count Lugana. I want to say the end of page 1 I think is like right here. Like this block right here I think is the end of the page. So I'm just slowly working my way down. And I want to say that this right here, I want to say is the top of the snowman's hat that's in the painting. Hang on. I think that's the top of his hat. There. So yeah, there's that. Okay. The next thing I want to show you is Fairy Tale Cottage from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. This is one of my bigger pieces. This is 979 by 737, 133 colors. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am in the upper left hand corner. I kind of started doing like some extreme cross country with the 939 because there was so much of it. And then I decided I was tired of doing that. So I was stitching down here a bit, but then I ended up coming back up here. This is where I'm at with it. You're probably, if you even remember what this looks like, which you probably don't, it doesn't look like there's been a whole lot of progress. I got 600 stitches in on it, but it's been all in this confetti area. There's like 100-something colors in this project, and I think that I've used just about every single one of them in this section. It's a lot of color changes. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of confetti stitching up here, trying to get, I think the corner of the page is right there. And so I want to try to get that page done and maybe then move over to page 2 and get that done. So, there's that. Okay, so my friend Naomi, hello Naomi, hello, had mentioned in one of our chat groups that she had bought a bunch of easy count fabric because she was going to do all the full coverages too. And then she got started on 2 pieces and she decided she did not like full coverage. So she said, hey, I'm going to be selling a lot of my, I'm going to be selling this fabric because I'm not going to use it. And she said I have a few yards of 25 and 28 count, easy count fabric. And I'm like, say what? So I started chatting with her about what she was doing, or what she was selling, and we got it all worked out. And I bought it from her. And I also ended up getting 2 whips from her because she said that she was never going to stitch them. The 2 that she started, that she decided she was never going to do. So let me show you the 2 whips that I adopted. And those are, they're both from Heaven and Earth Designs. The first one is Quick Stitch Red Panda. And the artwork is by Meredith Dillman, and this is 175 by 245. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And it's not normally something I would buy for myself to stitch, but I thought it was cute. I was like, yeah, I'll stitch that. That's cute. And this was her start, and I think this one, hang on, let me look. I already have it marked out in Pattern Keeper what was done. This is a left corner start, upper left corner. So that's where that is. She got up to 3.28% done on that one. And then the other one is Mini Tea and Books. Artwork is by Bridget Ashwood, and it's 275 by 275. One moment while I pull it up. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And she did it upper left corner start. Right? Wait, hold on. Let me pull it up. No, stop. Ah! Son of a motherless goat. What are you doing? Stop. This one's an upper right corner start, and she got up to 4.13% on this one. That's where that is. It's gonna be weird stitching from the right for me. I don't usually do that. So there's that one. All right. So in here, I adopted those whips. They needed a new home, so I adopted them. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Sorry. Okay, so I got this fabric from her. And I looked at my patterns and I was able to figure out which patterns I could go ahead and cut fabric down for. So I got the fabric cut down and I had them all in a pile. And I started, so I was like, okay, now I've got all this stuff ready to go for when I'm ready to do a new start. And then I started thinking about my, challenges that I'm going to be doing next year. Not no new starts, but you can't start something unless you finish something. And even then, it needs to be basically the equivalent category regarding size as what you finish. So like that little love piece that I started, I can't finish that and then start a Heaven and Earth design. You know what I mean? Like big one. So I had all these projects that I could start, but I wasn't going to be able to start after January 1st. And that made me sad. And then I realized that we were only in the beginning of December, and that restriction hasn't started yet. So that made me happy. So I started them. Hey, Mr. Whiskers. I wanted to have these ready to go for when I wanted to work on them. I only put in a few hundred stitches on each one, just so that I could call them a whip. And believe it or not, I still have more patterns that I could start if I had the fabric. So the first one I'm going to show you is Sweet Shop, charted by Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Steve Crisp. These are all going to be 1/1 full cross on either 25 or 28 count easy count fabric. So I don't have to keep saying that part. But this one is 650 by 469, and I got about 600 stitches in on this because I really wanted to just work on it. My cat has now taken up residency on my whips. He is laying across them. So I got 600 stitches in on that one. The next thing I'm going to show you is Rainbow Castle Max Color, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. This is 550 by 738, and it is 239 colors. Let me show you this way so you can see it better. Yeah. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Look at that. And I got 300 stitches on this one. Yeah, 300 stitches on this one. Like, there's not a lot to show with these things because I just threw in a few hundred stitches just to get them counted as a whip for next year. So this is, we're gonna run through this pretty quickly, I think. The next thing I'm gonna show you is Day to Night Tropics by Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Lars Stewart, and this pattern is now retired. All of the Day to Night pieces are. This is Day to Night Tropics, and this is 600 by 430, and I think I did 300 stitches on this one. So there's that. The next thing I'm going to show you is Cosmic Bowling. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. And this is regular colors, so it's 89 colors, and it's 750 by 535. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I started all of these in the upper left-hand corner. But this is where I got on that one. I did a couple hundred stitches in the yellow because I was using it as a challenge for one of the groups I was in. So there's that. The next thing I'm going to show you is Christmas Shops by Cross Stitch Studio. And I don't remember the artist. It's like Betsy something or other. Betsy Brown? I might be thinking of somebody else. Anyway, I gotta get that. I got it because it's not on the cover sheet. So I'll have to, yeah, I'll have to find that out. Wait, I wonder if it's on here. Oh, if I just go down a page, it's there. Yeah, Betsy Brown. Okay. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. It's a big piece. It's like 900 by 700. They do have this cropped where it's like that, and then another crop of that. And then they have the whole thing. So like I said, it's 900 by 700, 75 colors. I did 500 stitches on this one. That's where I'm at on that. So here's that one. My friend Stewart's also working on that piece, but he's down in the bottom. So it's going to be fun watching our pieces come along. The next one I'm going to show you is Snowy Delight from Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Kaplan Door. This is one of their new releases. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is 420 by 358. I think I got about 200 stitches in on this one, maybe 300. It's going to be a bit hard to see because they're really light colors that I was doing. That's where I'm at with that one. So there's that. The next thing I'm going to show you is another Heaven and Earth design, another Cyril Marchetti piece. Apparently I really like his artwork. This is Jukebox Max Color. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is 500 by 666, and it has 238 colors. I got about 300 stitches in on this, and that is where I'm at so far. Like I said, I just wanted to get these to like whip status, so I had the option of working on them. The next thing I'm going to show you is Mr. Cardinal. I don't like that printout of it. Let me pull it up on here. Find it. From Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Dempsey Essick. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. This is actually a crop of a bigger piece. And this is 190 by 317. And I got about 200 stitches in on this one. That's where I'm at on that. And the next thing I'm going to show you, this is the last new start for now, is Wanderlust Camping from Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Stewart. This is 497 by 327. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Really like it. Now this is, I still have to put some stitches in on this for it to count as a whip, because that's where I'm at with it. I only put in 44 stitches. I started doing this last night, but it was after a Christmas party for work, and I was tired, and I had had a couple of drinks before dinner, so I decided when it took me a literal minute to do one stitch, like it took me 45 minutes to do the 44 stitches I have in this piece so far, I thought it was in my best interest to put this down and walk away and come back to it later. So I'll probably just work on this tonight to get to the 200 stitches. So yeah, that's why it's still in the Q-snap, because I do need to work on that. So I'm just gonna set this aside over here. Okay, those are all my new starts. Now, that puts me at 129 whips going into 2023. So I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna go ahead and do one more to get me to an even 130, or if I'm gonna keep it at the 129. I don't know, because I really need to get some work done on the whips that I have already. So I should probably go ahead and just throw some stitches in there to get it to the 200, and then just go into the new year with 129 whips. That's what I should do. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I should do though. So my fake plans for the next couple weeks are gonna be to get this into whip status, and then continue working on the whips that I've already shown you, and also work on Day to Night North America. This is my starting point, so remember this. You better remember it. And so Day to Night North America, let me show you what it looks like real quick. It's Africa. Here it is. Oh, that piece there. And then my two stockings, my reindeer stocking and my Christmas tree stocking for my kids. I need to get cracking on these, crack-a-lacking on these. So I'll show you real quick my starting points with those. There's that one. That's the reindeer one. And here's my Christmas tree one. So there's those. So let's go ahead and talk about my fake plans for 2023. Because my next video is going to start off as a regular floss tube so I can show you the stuff I worked on, but then it's going to turn into a whip parade. An end of year whip parade where I'm going to show all my projects that I have started. That's going to be a long video. But let's go ahead and talk about my plans for 2023, my fake plans. So a few of the challenges that I'm doing throughout the games that I'm going to be playing next year, I need to have some focus pieces. Now, one of my things is going to be to get California Dreaming up to 25%. That's this piece here. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and it is currently sitting at 10.72%. Let me show you where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it so far. So I need to get this up to 25% by December of 2023. That would be my goal for this. And I did some maths and I figured out that I think it is a little over 2,500 stitches a month that I would have to do on this piece to get to that goal, which is definitely doable. So there's one. Then another focus piece I have is this piece here. This is from Stitch Area. This pattern is no longer available, but this is Best Friends Quotes. And this is my starting point with this. My goal for this one, I can't remember if I said I was gonna, if this was one I was gonna just do like maybe 1,000 stitches a month, or if this was one that I was going to alternate. There's two projects I'm doing where I'm going to do 1,000 stitches on odd months and then 2,000 on even months, and then I was going to switch it with the other project and do that project. I'm doing 2,000 on odd months and 1,000 on even months. But there's that. That's my starting point for that one. So except for this A right here, well, technically that A is done, but everything that's on here is completed. That's all complete. This is part of we were on a break, but the A is technically finished. So that's all done. But yeah, so I want to get at least 1,000 stitches a month on that. And I realized that this is actually, I realized that it's a lot of stitches when you start adding it up, but it is doable because I do the monthly challenges in the Harry Potter game I play on Facebook, and the higher count monthly challenge that I can do with time to spare is a total of 18,000 stitches for the month. And I have like a week left over when I'm done with it, so it's doable. All right, the next focus piece I'm going to have is Whole Lotta Latte from Dimensions. This is a Dimensions kit. Doing kit floss, kit fabric. It's on a 14 count black Aida. This will be my starting point for that. I guess I don't really need to show you this because I'm going to be doing this in my whip parade. That's okay, it gives me something to talk about. It's my starting point for that. And I can't figure this out. My other one is going to be from Design Works Coffee Break. This is also a kit. This was one of my starts for New Start November. It's my starting point for that. I think this one I'm going to try to do 1,000 stitches a month on. So those three, I don't think I'm necessarily going to finish those projects per se, but I would like to get a lot of progress on them. My other focus piece, one of my other focus pieces is going to be Day to Night Iceland by Stewart, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And this one I'm going to be doing 2,000 stitches a month on this. That's my starting point for that one. I have 400 going so far, but I want to do 2,000 a month on that one. And then my last focus piece for 2023 is going to be Catching Rays. This is my million stitch project. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. And this is 1,200 wide by 900 tall. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing this, so the total stitch count is 1,080,000 stitches. This one is being done 1/1 full cross on 32 count easy count Lugana. That's where I'm at with that so far. I'm doing this in a checkerboard. The page is in a checkerboard just because I felt like it. And then I'm color completing within the page. So so I'm going to try to do 2,000 stitches a month on this one as well. So if I do 2,000 stitches, that'll put me at a little over 24,000 stitches. That'll put me at 24,000 stitches into this one, and Day to Night Iceland, I'll have that as well. Yeah. So so even with all those, so let me see, 2, 4, 2, 4, 7, 8, 10. So I think all of those are like 10,500 stitches. And I want to say, like I said, I think the higher count challenge is like 18,000. So that's like 8,000 stitches that I could play around with, give or take, that I could work on other projects. So I think, I think that, you know, that'll give me plenty of time to like kind of work on some other stuff. But those are going to be my main focus pieces for next year. And I'll try to like start squeezing in some stuff so that I can try to get some finishes on the other things. Or at least get some progress on some of these bigger ones. We'll see how it goes the further into the year that it gets. Yeah, and I think when I do my whip parade next time, I'm going to try to set aside the projects that I think I could do fairly quickly. Yeah, the ones I think I could do fairly quickly. And then I would like, what I'd like to do is maybe when I have time, if I ever have time, look at my whips, like my full coverages, and see what it would take to get it to like 1% or something like that. See how many stitches it'll take to get to 1% or the next percent up. If it's not going to be something, because I have so many of them, I don't want to say like 5% and I won't put it back in the rotation until that's done, because that'll take up too much time. But if I say 1% and then I'll put it aside and get something else to want, you know what I mean? Like, so I think I'm going to have those 6 pieces, and then I'll probably have an additional full coverage that I'm trying to get to 1% or the next percent up. And then maybe I'll do like one from each category, small, medium, large. And I'll just kind of, those other ones I will just like kind of do a certain number of stitches on, or do like a motif, or get to a certain point or whatever before I put it back into like another. My robot just let out food for the cat, and of course, you know, my fat ass Mr. Whiskers immediately jumped up, like he woke up, like, what? I hear food. Anyway, so I think I might do that. I'll look at my BAPs and see which ones, like what I need to get to 1%, and what, or the next percent up, and then they'll get rotated out that way. And then I'll have one from each category, small, medium, large. And I'll either do a set number of stitches, or I'll look at the design and see if there's like a good stopping point to get to, and I'll work on those. I don't have to work on all those in the month. I just will work on those until I get to that point, and then they will go away and I'll pull something else out. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So that would give me 6. That would give me kind of like 10 pieces in a rotation, if that kind of makes sense. Yeah, because I would have my 6 focus pieces, a BAP, a large, a medium, and a small. And I think that's good. I think that'll be a good way for me to work on it. Yeah. And we'll see where I'm at. We'll see how I stick to those plans, because you know how that goes. And I think that's about it. So if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. And you can follow me on Instagram. I'm not the greatest at posting on Instagram, but I try. I am the Caffeinated Crafter 80 on Instagram. I'll put my handle down below in the description box. I'm also going to link Stewart Cunningham's website, I think, and Facebook page. And yeah. So I think that's it. I think that's all I gotta say. Yeah. So if you liked what I had to share with you, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. My battery's running low. The subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, I gotta stop because I just keep saying that's all I have to say, because that is all I have to say. All right, take care, guys. Happy stitching. Hope you guys have a great next couple weeks, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.